So this is a conversation that came up at a session this week, but it's a kind of conversation I've had before because one of the things I talk about is how important it is to be able to say no. And I was talking to clients that had had a difficult sexual experience. And the husband in this case, had initiated sex, and his wife basically knew this was not a good evening for her. Her body was not in a good place. She had struggled with health stuff all week. She really was not feeling it. And more than just not feeling it, this was bad for her body. And she didn't listen to that because two things. First, she really cares that her partner is happy and she'd like to try to meet the needs and she's trying to kind of rise to the occasion. And in her case, there's still some pressure, feeling a bit of in a bind that if she says no, there's going to be some sort of consequence. This is going to be ammunition used against her later. It's just more evidence that this has to be on her terms, or it's another time. I mean, other people, it's another time where the partner's going to feel rejected and get mopey or grumpy. Whatever's going to happen, there's some consequence, perceived consequence, or actual consequence to saying no. So, because of this bind, she proceeded. She didn't listen to what was very clear to her that this was not a good time for her body. So they proceed into sex. Now, her husband is oblivious. Didn't have this information. I don't mean oblivious in a negative way. Didn't know that this was going on for her. He saw that, well, I'm not exactly feeling it, but let's go. So to him, this was a green light for a maybe. Let's see what happens. Let's, see if this is okay. He didn't understand how negative this was for her because she wasn't sharing that. So then they get into sex and it didn't go well. And she was sort of setting limits, and eventually it was just clear that this was a problem, and they stop and they talk, and she's like, I should have said no, and then he feels bad. The takeaway is what she said to me yesterday that really rang true is she goes, I set him up to fail. It wasn't fair to him, and it wasn't fair to me. And this is so true. If you are not saying no when you need to, this can't turn into a positive experience. This isn't good for either one of you. I guess you could think of it as it's not fair to either one of you. This is a problem. You're not doing your partner any favors to proceed into sex when it is clearly a no for you. So this is why I talk about celebrating no, seeing the value of this. You are doing this for you, for your partner, for your relationship. You can't create a sex life that can work if it is filled with experiences that are so negative because it wasn't starting in the right place, because you weren't coming from a place, in which you could have felt desire and pleasure and connection. So this is so important. Like, you can't say yes if you can't say no, right? Your yes doesn't mean anything if you can't say no when you need to. Now, one of the things I talk about in my course all the time, and it comes up with clients, there's like this discernment to make, a difference between I need to say no. This just is not going to be a good time. There's no possibility. This is bad for me in some way. That's different than, I just sort of want to say no. I'm not really in the mood. I'm not feeling it. It feels a little awkward. It's not exactly what I want. Like, when it's just sort of, I want to say no, then there could be room potentially to start and see what happens. Because just like when I talk about reactive desire, the ability to shift gears and maybe get in the mood. So just because you're not feeling it right now, or it feels a little weird, it's not exactly what you want, there can be room to explore what I call that maybe. Let's see what happens. Could this turn into something? Now, if you get to a place where it's bad, you should stop. Just because you start doesn't mean you have to finish. You should be taking care of yourself all along the way. So if you do run into a real no, you should say that either in the beginning or in the middle. But when it's just sort of this vague, not really feeling it, again, you can explore that. And sometimes you end up getting aroused, wanting sex, and you have this lovely encounter. Sometimes, well, I don't exactly get into it, but I can totally participate with you and feel good about it. Sometimes it's like, well, I can't do this, but I could do that with you. We could share some experience that could meet your needs, right? But all of those things feel okay to the person. None of this is coming at a real cost. None of this is causing distress or trauma or real heaviness. So, bottom line is when someone needs to say no, you should see that as a really positive thing. They are taking care of themselves. They are letting you know that this can't go well. And hallelujah, because you don't want to have an experience that doesn't go well and reinforces the bad patterns. So hopefully this makes sense. Like no is just such a powerful, powerful tool. And it's coupled with, okay, say no again when you need to, but don't overuse it. Still look for those places where we can explore the maybe. But those two things combined and getting that clarity and discerning between these things will serve you and your partner so well. So if you're somebody who is feeling this no, whose body is not in the right place, or your mind is not in the right place, or you're sure this can't go well, I'm going to challenge you to start to say that and to be able to tell the difference between that and these other places where you might be able to shift gears. If you're a partner who's ready for sex and you're not so sure your partner is, it is their job to discern this, to know when they need to say no and when they can say maybe. But if you're getting clear signals that they are not into this and don't want to be there, stop. This is how you can help. Don't move forward when it's clear they don't want to be there. They may still be learning to flex this no muscle. They may be still stuck in a bind, like my client, where they don't feel like they can exactly say no, or it's not okay to say no this time, or whatever. Don't proceed if you're getting clear no signals from your partner. Let's wait till everybody can be enthusiastic and make a choice about being intimate together.